Welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast. This is a show where we aim to educate, inspire and entertain through real life stories and interviews from people in the Scottish property community.
As always, thanks for listening and give us a follow on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to join us at our monthly networking events on the first Wednesday of every month. Tickets are available on our website. So without further ado, we'll just cut straight into this week's podcast. Jemima Spence, how are you today? Welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast.
I'm super excited. It feels like it's been a long time coming.
Great to see you. I've actually met you at one of the networking events, I think, briefly. But prior to that, I had spotted you on social media. I spotted you on Instagram doing a brain-melting renovation series, which was really captivating, actually. So we'll talk about that and your social media presence. I think there's a lot of good value in that for the listeners. How you've now moved on to YouTube. You've got your own YouTube channel now as well. But there's a lot that went on prior to this. So we've got a whole story coming up about how you got involved in the property industry, obviously talking about your own renovations, how you helped build a very big lettings business, and there was a very big story to tell about that, how you lost a lot of money out of that as well. So stay tuned, listeners, for this one. It's going to be a great insight into somebody, and I think a huge amount of personal kind of value, because it's not just, like you say, all about fancy cars, Rolexes and a fancy lifestyle and property, which is what I know you get pissed off for that, seeing that on social media. There's a lot of blood, sweat and tears that goes into building a property business. We're going to talk about your sourcing business as well, so take us right back. Where did you grow up?
So I am an Orcadian. I was born and bred in the Orkney Islands, but from the age of 11, probably became a little bit transient from then. So lived in Shetland for a year.
Wow. What were your memories of growing up there then?
In Orkney? Honestly, fantastic. You didn't lock your doors. We had such a sense of freedom. We could, because with my younger brother, I had my older sister and my older brother, but they were kind of a bit older. We just had such a great time growing up. We really did. It was like, as a parent now, it's like what you would really want for your child, not to have to worry about anything at all. We could just cycle on down to the beach or go to a different beach or go to the loch.
How many people were in your class? How many people were in your class at school? Because when I grew up, there was 4 people in my class in primary school.
Well, there was more than that. I think there was probably about 20 odd people in my
I had 14
class.
in my primary school, but went on the market about a year ago and I tried to buy, and I thought it'd be quite a cool renovation project to buy your old primary school and give it back to residential. But
my old primary school was a hut. It was literally a hut.
God, you were rural, weren't you?
I was just like, where did you grow up?
It was a porter cabin that we grew up in the school. So that wouldn't have been much of a project, that one.
I was in Inverness yesterday. It's like a cracking, thriving.
No, so I wasn't. I was 7 miles out of Inverness in a place called Davia. It's on the A9 as you come in.
Oh, right. I know where that is, yeah.
So just as you come in, 7 miles out, and it's I think the school's actually shut down now. So growing up in Orkney, Shetland, at what point did you come to where you like?
No, I did it. So I spent primary 7, then the first year of high school in Shetland, and then I started second year in Peterhead Academy, and let me tell you, that was a baptism of fire.
Peterhead?
Peterhead.
Why'd you move there?
Felt like a day loony.
She's got no accent for Peterhead.
You know all about it in office. Oh, man. But what moved you there?
My mother and her partner.
What did they do?
So my mother's partner he was a fisheries officer. So he'd gotten a promotion to Peterhead, and at the time it was the largest white fishing port in Europe. So it was a big deal.
Your brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. So I have my older. I've got a lot of half brothers and sisters. I've got a very complicated family situation.
Right, that's another podcast.
But that's another podcast. Yes, but yeah, we'll just park it there. And then I just turned 17. And then I moved to Glasgow.
You didn't fancy a career on the fishing boats, no?
Well, what happened to stop in Aberdeen? I thought you were working your way down into more.
I used to really enjoy going into Aberdeen at the weekends and things, but No, I was ready for the big lights, the big city. To me, like Glasgow was everything, because I was really keen to get away from Peterhead. There's a lot of like family situations that I was just like, I'm packing my bags and I'm off, and I never looked back.
And was it uni or college or anything like that for you? Or?
So I had my son first. So I had my son when I was 18.
Wow.
And then I went on to college. And I studied acting. So that's when, and I always wanted to be an actress. Like, even through school, I was the one at lunchtimes up on the stage in the drama department and in all the school shows. Just, it was such an outlet, such an opportunity to express myself.
Okay, so fancy making £1,000 for sending a WhatsApp. Let's take a wee break to talk about referring sellers to John and Lewis at Prime Property Auctions. Me and Stephen have both done it, and it couldn't be easier. If you know someone selling a property, the guys will pay you £1,000 or 1% of the sale price, whatever's higher, just for passing their details. Doesn't matter if the seller is already with an estate agent or not, just drop the guys a message and they'll do everything from the first call to getting the property sold. Know someone who might be looking to sell or struggling to get a result with their agent? Go to the link in the show notes and send them a message now. How tough was that, becoming a mum at 18?
Honestly, not that difficult. I was very grown up at 18. I mean, people, I know I can see you're shocked, but I was so ready for it.
I'm thinking about myself at 18. That's why I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Well, my partner was older,
Right.
so he was ready for it as well. At the time, a lot of my friends were saying, "This is crazy. You're very," because I've always been very driven. That don't do it, and I was absolutely not. I was born to be a mother. I was really set. So I had my son.
Did you have much family help, like your like mum?
No,
partner?
none.
Were you down in
None
Glasgow
at
at this
all.
point?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so-
What age is your son now?
So he's I give my age away, but he's 26.
We operate in transparency here in the podcast. So
I know, but there's certain things that you don't really want to be transparent about.
You might as well tell us your age because we're going to figure it out.
You're such a typical man. And so men always ask that question. Sorry, how old are you? And I'm like, none of your business.
So how old are you?
But this is my son. He's 26.
I'm like, work it out, he's 26. I also have a 22-year-old daughter as
Amazing.
well.
Oh.
So I was 22 when I had Mina. So
Mila?
Mina.
Oh, Mina. My daughter's Mila. It's, right.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So by the time, I studied acting, had the absolute time of my life. I was just excelling and making solid friendships because I didn't have any family in Glasgow. The friends that I met at college are the ones that I am still incredibly close with now. They're like my family.
So what age were your kids when you did the college and all that?
So Mina wasn't. She came after I
Aye.
finished college, but Josh was only a year old. I
That
used
must
to
have been
take him
hard.
to the creche with
Jeez,
me.
oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I used to take him on the train every morning. To but when you love something and when you really want to do something, you'll find a way.
Yeah, there'll be no excuse.
You'll
of going.
absolutely find a way. And
Sometimes I do wish, now that I'm a kind of old parent, if you like, do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes I do wish I had kids younger because I'd be like, I'd have seen the back of it by now. Do you know what I mean? I'd have my life
you
back.
are absolutely right, and I could see heads nodding over
Yeah.
there as well because women now have this pressure of I've got to be career minded. I've got to get my career out the way first and then have children. So all of my friends mostly have got younger children and they are so frazzled.
All the time.
It's so hard
You're
to
like,
be.
I'm free. I
And
can
my
eat for
kids
coffee
left
anytime.
home like years ago.
Josh picked me up from the pub. I've had a few wines.
Brilliant. Exactly.
I know, like my kids are like my best friends now. They're
Yeah.
really, it was absolutely the right way for me.
They involved in
because-
property at all? The kids?
So they have. My son's quite savvy with money, and he actually invested in one of my flips.
Nice.
Money that he had saved.
Brilliant.
Really cool.
And then his girlfriend put some money in as well, and I quite liked it because
Yeah.
we were kind of all in it together, and I just liked to show them.
Have they got their own careers now? They got their own thing?
Yeah. So my son, both of them moved out at quite a young age. Mina probably too young because she came out of COVID and was like, I'm out here.
Yeah.
I cannot be in the house for 1 minute longer. And then she was only 19 and I thought, I left home at 17. I I get it, but I was, so they're off they went, and then I was like, I'm like fairly young. I'm like, but loose and fancy free. This is amazing, you know. It's just, and all my friends are like completely like shattered at the end of the night. You know, barely get 2 words out of them, and I'm phoning them. My life is so different to theirs, but I'm loving it.
So like obviously you're pursuing in your head, like this is before property, you're pursuing like an acting career, right?
Yes,
so you're like,
yes.
I'm going to be an actor. You had ambitions, you had dreams.
So
what did you want to do?
So I actually, what age was I? 19, I think. And my sister entered me into a modelling competition, which I won. And then I actually had quite a fun modelling career for like most of my 20s. And
So that's like, 'cause I used to be a photographer, so I know a wee bit about this, but were you signed up with an agency and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I was signed up.
Was it called Model Team or Look or something like that?
I was signed up with a model team. And I would say like I had the best years of my life. I'm such a people person as well. So anytime, you know, when we were on jobs, it was just such a new experience with different types of people that I hadn't been involved with before. And it was just such a lifestyle. I loved it.
Good fun.
And the acting was kind of part of it as well, because I felt the two kind of merged quite easily. And then it was leading to more acting jobs, because I was doing lots of kind of TV adverts and things where Scotland's such a small pond when it comes to this type of thing. So the acting agents and the model agents, kind of their jobs kind of intertwine all of the time. So yeah, I ended up, and then I was doing more and more TV work, and I was doing more and more films, but it was still all very sort of independent, like unknown stuff that's not. You're
making a living, right? Because it can be up and down, can't it? It can be like,
I was making more money from the modelling than I was from the acting. I made very little from the acting. The acting it's become a very elitist career path, because you need so much money behind you to do it, because you're expected to work for nothing for periods of time.
So much contact, so much a network as well. It's that you're.
Yeah.
What was the kind of vibe, the kind of mood that they used to hire you for then? Was there a specific type of like niche that you would go into, or?
I was sort of the yummy mummy a lot of the time, because I used to. The kids would be working on shoots with me as well, and those were actually the best money ones.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Nothing like exploiting your kids a wee bit. Like
Absolutely.
He does it all the time with social media content. Go on, Maya, give us like you get in front of the camera.
You've got Maya, Mila, and Mina, which is all.
I've got 3 kids, but they don't want to go on. Like they just.
My 13-year-old me approve my story content before I post it now.
Yeah,
she wants me to approve it. I'm like,
quite right.
Oh, okay.
And like, what am I getting out of this? Is it a Mackie D's?
She wants a job with me.
So no, it's so.
So I'll lead up into that.
Well, hang on a wee second. So are you still with your partner like during this time? No, right,
no. Okay.
So
no. So I was
single,
on
yummy
my
mummy.
Own. Yes.
So the modelling career was flying.
I definitely had periods of. And I just loved my lifestyle, and I was probably a bit frivolous. Well, I was quite frivolous with money back then.
What would that look like then? Give us some examples.
So I ended up with quite a substantial amount of debt by the time I think I was like late 20s.
Is that clothes,
early
shopping,
30s. Well, showing yourself. Not so much that, it was just that having breaks in between working. So, you're thinking, oh, it's great, I'm earning 2-3 grand on a shoot.
Keep you going for
and then like you wouldn't have anything for a wee while, and then, so then you're kind of borrowing to, but this went on over a long period of time. And I didn't have any family or that too, so I was just completely like, this is my job to provide, for the kids. So I carried that debt kind of right through until I think probably my 30s before I paid it all off, and it was such a noose around my neck. But during that time, I had missed a few payments, which affected my credit rating quite badly.
That's something you're obviously letting instill in your kids now, that don't get yourself into that mess.
Absolutely. I'm really on it with them. You know, it's a big part of I can't stress it enough to them and to anybody. I talk about it a lot, is that you cannot afford to borrow. If you're borrowing, you're doing something wrong. You shouldn't be relying on credit cards or anything like that.
How much were you in debt by? I mean, did you even know, like, or did it just kind of snowball out of control?
Yeah, well, including my student debt as well, it was about £26,000. And I just felt like it followed me around like a bad smell. It was just, but I was so determined to get rid of it. So, once I like fast forward into I met my partner, who I was with for a long period of time, and he was a property man. He was someone. He
opened your eyes to the.
He opened my eyes up big time. I mean, he would do things like a magician. I'm like, how did you just do that?
How did you meet him?
He was introduced to me through a friend of a friend, and we met. It was a business meeting, and I just was like, yeah, he's for me. He is for me, and that's what happened.
What age were you then?
Oh God, see now you're asking.
Roughly.
I'm trying to think. I would have been sort of mid to late 20s.
Right, okay.
I think.
Still doing the modelling at this point?
Yes,
Yeah.
But not as much.
No.
Not as much.
And then does this lead into you getting like almost like a proper job and out of the modelling?
So I got a job actually in London for a period of time, because I always thought, you know what, I'm going to move to London. This is where the acting is at. It's not really happening up here. I'm going to move to London. So I did, and I just got into this huge debacle with my daughter's father, and I ended up coming back because she never came. My son came. It was really messy, and I thought, I just can't do this to them. So after a year and a half of lots of legal fees and trying to, I just came back. I thought, I can't do this any longer, you know, without my daughter. So I came back, but during that time, I was in relation with the property man, and we were madly in love. We were, you know, really, like, everyone used to call us like the power couple. And for years he'd been asking me to come and join the letting business. And I kept saying no, because I just didn't think it was a good idea that we would work together. But I'm
So he had a letting agency in the West
End? When I joined, it was in Merchant City. Mm-hmm. So I consider myself a natural born salesperson. You know, I was very much kind of the roles that I had been in had all been like sales roles out with the modelling. We spent, so after years of him saying, come and join. And then eventually when I came back from London, I thought, what have I got to lose? You know, it would give me a bit of security as well. So I joined, and then I absolutely loved it, because I was the sort of business development manager. So I was bringing on all new landlords and their properties, and I've always had such a keen eye for design as well. So who wouldn't want to go and look around people's houses and in their flats, and then I was able to give a bit of guidance as well about how to make these properties look so that they weren't just very generic looking, you know, flats.
Sit in the market.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was in the business for 8 years in total. Built up the business, bringing on new landlords, and had a great time. I really
and you were a
really
key part to obviously driving the business forward and growing it.
Absolutely,
because
I was the face. I was the face of the business. All clients would come to me with any issues. So whilst I was the face of the business bringing on new business, I was also handling all the complaints, because landlords would come to me and go, I don't want to deal with anyone else. I want to deal with you.
That's what I'm finding at the moment, right? Because obviously I've built the lettings and systemised it, staffed it, but I'm still that guy who's bringing on the new properties. Yeah. So there is a kind of period of time where I still keep coming back to you, and I'm trying to you're trying to be nice about it, but like then you're trying to get the team to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? So,
but you've sold you.
Yes.
And the same way as that I've sold the team. I always brought them into the office to meet the team as well, because that was a big part of. Aye. But when the proverbial hit the fan or something happened, they would go, no, coming back to you. Mm-hmm. And diplomacy's been my thing, and I was always happy to take them on because I'm not just working in the business. This is our future. This is something that I see, for our whole lives. I'm very invested in it, even though I wasn't a director. My title was business development manager.
So for 8 years, you poured your heart and soul into building this business.
Yes.
Where did it all go wrong?
Yes, and then we were personally. So he had quite a substantial portfolio, and during that time, I was helping landlords buy properties as well.
This is a buy-to-let portfolio.
Buy-to-let
that he owned personally.
He owned personally.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, then I obviously built up a lot of confidence in where to buy and where not to buy in Glasgow, because I was in and around the town all of the time. I knew exactly, almost street by street, what the values were and what you could get in rent.
Sorry to pause you there, but see, when he was acquiring all these buy-to-let properties in his name, are you kind of thinking, because I presume you're living together at this point,
yes,
you're seeing this as a lifelong relationship? Are you thinking, well, this is partly my doing as well, and this is a kind of joint thing almost?
Well, we were together for 13 years, so we had always intended to get married, but I realised as time went on that was a fairy tale, and I was building up a part of the business with helping landlords. So I was helping them source properties and then managing the refurbs as well, but also sourcing properties for us. Now, because I had a bad credit rating,
you didn't get the mortgages on them. Yeah.
I wasn't at that time able, and I was also very naive, and I think I probably could have done, but he was also like, look, we're in this together. Just, you do your bit and I'll do my bit. And I was completely happy with that, because, I was almost in his realm as well. But it was a future. It was a future for us. And I liked the idea of being like a power couple as well. Well, it was, we did so much together. But over the years, sadly, our relationship broke down, and it wasn't for the want of trying. He was a huge drinker, and I'm not a big drinker, and that's really what it came down to. So I felt really, I felt tied to everything for longer. I was probably there longer than I should have been, but I just didn't want to walk away from it all. But I felt very much like being blackmailed, that you're walking away with nothing. So I did. I walked away. I left my house. I continued on in the business for a period of time. And this was like a 3-story townhouse in the West End. I loved it. I mean, I loved my house.
Wow.
And
what would that be worth now?
I left everything.
A 3-story townhouse in the West End?
It's probably worth about $1 million. Yeah. The properties that we'd acquired together, which I had put money into as well. So I had some money of my own, and we were doing flips together. So really what I walked away with was a heck of a lot of experience.
Yeah, not much. Not much in the portfolio, not much of the business, because you weren't a shareholder in it.
I was not a shareholder, was not a director. And I questioned it many times and tried to be, but it was always... I think my mother. I should ask my mother first before I ask you, because she's been in the business longer than you. And me being a woman as well was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Your mum's like everything, So,
how did that make you feel at the time?
I felt incredibly undervalued, and it didn't sit well with me at all. So the biggest thing that I could do to show what my value was to walk away with nothing, because I wanted a new relationship. I wanted to find like a deeper love. I was looking for love. Like, that was really what drove me out of that relationship. And I just don't think he could actually believe it, that I was going to walk.
It was ultimately your decision to leave the relationship, then, which obviously left him very bitter, and he was not
to this day
wanting to obviously, give up. I
was still working in the business for a period of time, and I was still trying to work out, what am I going to do? I've made this big jump, and then he just fired me. Wow. He just fired me.
But that must have been awkward as well. Like, working together after the relationship ended.
Yeah. And I think he just, but he wasn't, he never worked from the office anyway.
Right, so
he was never there. And I was working partially from home as well, so that I could kind of, but I was still meeting clients. And so he fired me, and I had to get a solicitor on board, and I fought it. And so then we agreed a redundancy package, which was still pitiful. But there was one key thing in this. So all I asked for was a letter to go out, an email to go out to all our landlords that we are delighted to say that Jemima was Jay at the time, but Jay is setting up her own business. She's sourcing properties, because I just thought, I'm going to go for this. I am going to go and set up this sourcing business because he used to always say, I don't think there's enough money to sustain yourself in that. And then that's when I was like, I think there's a lot of money in it.
You think that gave you that drive, like him kind of fucking you over almost, to give you that drive and determination?
It absolutely did. It put rocket fuel at me. And also the fact that I was still, my son had actually left home at this point, but I had my daughter, and I thought, I don't have a job. And I don't have a lot of capital behind me. I had some capital, but not a huge amount.
What are the options? You went back to modelling?
We had a flip. Well, I could have done. Thank you very much.
I'm not saying you couldn't have. I'm just saying that was maybe an option.
But I just I was getting old tat at that anyway.
You've been in lettings. Let's face it. You've been in lettings for 8 years. And
I had so many landlords going, "Geez, right, brilliant. You're setting up your own letting agency." Absolutely not. I couldn't think of anything worse. The politics, no.
What year was that, by the way, just to give us a time scale?
So I actually, because I'm terrible with dates, so I left the business in 2020.
Oh, right. It's quite recent.
So when I set up the business, my only ask for this redundancy package was that a letter go out to all the landlords that I was setting up my business, and if any landlords wanted to grow their portfolio, is to go to Jay. And I was expecting like loads of landlords to come, and only one landlord got in touch with me. And this landlord was one of my favourites. Her name was Rosa,
right.
And she was from Hong Kong. And she was like, "This is brilliant. I love your work," because I'd already sourced properties for her in the business. She's like, "I love your work. She's like, I can trust you." She just kept saying, "I know I can trust you." And she's like, "I've got a huge network." And honestly, my business just went, pew. It just flew because of this one person and her network in Hong Kong. And I just had all these Hong Kong clients I had no UK clients at this point. It was just all Hong Kong.
Right.
And then because I then, put it on social media.
2020, that was COVID time.
That's COVID time.
People, are your clients still buying at this point then, yeah?
So still buying now.
It's just, were they buying, because obviously you hit starting your own business 2020, everyone's shut down pretty much. How do you get off the ground and get
Because the property market was still going.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They're still buying. Are they cash buyers or?
Mostly cash buyers, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, no, actually, when I say that, they were all cash buyers.
Right.
Because it's incredibly difficult to get a mortgage.
Yeah.
So you start charging just straight sourcing fees?
Yes.
Has he still got his lettings business running today?
Yes, it's scaled back a lot, but yes, he still does. And I honestly wish him all the best with it, because I know it was not easy, and he suffered a lot throughout it. I think that's probably why the drink problem, and also, well, the drink problem with other things, but I couldn't. It was absolutely suffocating for me, and I could not. I was so undervalued. I knew I had so much more to give, and I felt really held back as well. And I was ready for something bigger.
Like spreading your wings in 2020 then and growing the sourcing business. So talk us through the first few deals then during COVID and getting the sourcing business up off the ground.
I mean, I think I was just so delighted that people were actually entrusting me with their money. So it was. I've always stuck to a very simple strategy of like buy under 100, sort of buy in the region of, sort of 70, 80. That's a good, and don't be too greedy with the yields, because you'll be able to buy more faster because you'll get more opportunities.
Yeah.
But at that time, the property market was amazing. I mean, I actually find it harder now to source than I did back in 2020 when we were under wraps in COVID. So, and because I was managing my sort of UPS was that I was managing the refurbs as well, and they were like, "This is amazing!" Just so
hands-off service. Yeah.
So you moved out. See, again, that must be such a difficult time as well, because like just thinking from a personal level, you moved out of your house with your two. Is it with your two kids?
With my
as well?
daughter, because my son was at the point of leaving home.
And then did you have to go and like rent a property?
Yeah, I had to. I rented a 2-bed flat right next to my daughter's school to make it easy for her, and start all over again.
Oh.
But so the business rocketed. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
And is this
to
just
that
with a couple
client.
of handful of clients? Like, what was the one?
It was the one, and then because I was quick to get the social media going, then that helped to bring in other UK clients.
So did you hit that right off the back as well during COVID, right at the start?
It was just, I couldn't believe it, because I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to really suffer here. It's going to be difficult. But no.
And did that look like, were you already, using social media? Or did you just say, right, I need to start up posting more content here? What did your content look like in the early days? Was it Instagram you were using?
Yeah,
what
it was
platforms?
mostly Instagram. And I just was very... I had a very strong brand, and I knew that the brand had to really sail me through the start. You know, a brand that people could see a sense of design, that there was something a bit more colourful, but also like I still had a sort of corporate edge. So I think that helped massively. I put some case studies up on, because I had done a few flips before I had left, and before I set up the business. So I was able to showcase some things that I had done, and the returns that we were getting.
So you were able to charge a sourcing fee and then a project management fee as well for refurbs. Was that the crux of the business?
So to begin with, I was only charging a sourcing fee, which included the refurb fee, but now I charge a sourcing fee as well as a refurb fee.
What sort of fees would you be taking for the sourcing?
So £3,000 for sourcing, and then I charge 15% for refurbs.
Right.
And I think for some people go, oh, that's far too expensive, and I go, you're not my client.
Yeah,
Cheerio.
I think that's a great attitude, because
I don't entertain.
Otherwise,
exactly,
yeah.
and these clients are always much more needy. They need more attention, more time, and when a client comes to you and they don't quibble the price, they are your ideal client, because they go. I say, right, we need to spend money on this. We need to do this. We need to do that. This is what we need to do to get it to this level, and they go, great.
Yeah.
There's the money.
Absolutely.
and these clients that quibble over, £500 or that, they are not worth your time.
Yeah. So Kelvingrove, what is it called?
Property
sourcing was born, and then that grew.
Because that's where I used to live, and I'd set it up so quickly that I just was like, what am I going to call it?
You don't still live in the West End, do you? You moved down to the coast?
No, I'm on the coast now. I'm down in Seamill.
Ah, nice.
Right, but I don't know if you know that area.
Where's that? Ayrshire?
Yeah, it's North Ayrshire.
Lovely.
Do you know? A lot of people know the Seamill Hydro, because it's a hotel that does like huge weddings. Do you know Largs?
Yeah.
So it's south of Largs.
Ah, nice.
Well, I've been by the coast and that.
Yeah. I was brought up by the sea, so I had a desire to go back. And I've been living there for a year now, and what a lifestyle. I love it. I can't imagine my life anywhere else now. I've spent a lot of time in the city, and I feel like but also the deals, like what is available in the city, jeez, it's so hard now to get.
Are you sourcing a lot of stuff in Ayrshire now then?
So I'm looking at Ayrshire now and getting some fantastic returns.
So did you buy? So I know, did you buy any properties yourself? What was your own personal property journey then, in terms of have you bought any buy-to-lets over those years, or has it been flips? Or talk us a little bit about your strategies then for your own investing.
Yeah, so I was really keen to build up cash, because I had lost a lot of money. I had lost just so much that.
What do you reckon? Like, did you ever do a figure where potentially in your head that you should have been worth that you should have got from that building that business?
It's really it's not see, to dwell on that, it would make you ill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have completely let it go. That's why I had to write figures down, because I have erased. You can't dwell. You can't. It just sits in the pit of your stomach, going, "This is what
Eating away at you.
Yes, and I'm so focused on what I'm doing now and the opportunities and the clients that I have. Like, there is literally no point, because.
Did you write that figure down? No, that's not one of the figures.
I did write it down.
What is
yes.
it? What is it then?
But it is an estimate, because this is properties that we had purchased together, properties that I brought into the business to help the business grow. You know, if he were to sell that business, then, you know,
A book, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be in the region of about $1 million.
Right. Now, the reason why...
I should really start crying now, but I am so happy at where I'm at now.
The reason why I'm sort of pushing on that is it's not because we're trying to get a clickbait title or anything like that, but it's about how we get people coming all the time, you know, and you meet people in life who complain about stuff all the time, and you know there's a good lesson here, like how you rebounded out of that, and like your attitude now. There's no point in dwelling on that now, and it's still pretty recent. It's still pretty raw. You know, it was only like 5 years ago.
But I am in such a great place, because the reason that I left was because I was looking for a more meaningful love, and I found it. I went and I put so much energy into meeting someone.
So looking back on that, so like obviously at the time there's a financial hit to you, but now in the grand scale of things, the financial thing's not.
It doesn't even
like way down there.
It's way down. It's honestly, you know, I don't even think about it anymore.
Because the happiness has come now in like your newfound love.
Yeah.
How did you meet him?
Through good old fashioned online dating.
Yay.
You're going to say that.
Which was completely foreign to me.
Tinder?
I one night I was just sat going, I just can't. This is not for me. I am not someone that is going to be sat in on a Saturday night. Nope. Looked up, Googled top 10 paid for dating sites, because I thought I want someone who is serious. And
paid
Tinder
for,
to me,
paid for is important, isn't it?
Paid for, so I paid to go on to, and so I thought top 10, and this one came up, and I was like, there was like steam coming out me, smoke coming off my fingers, and I'm like, right, put my bio in, let's get it all in, and it was just like warts and all, and through it, and for some people that might be quite scary, because I'm quite direct and I'm very honest. You will always know where you stand with me. And I think that came across in my bio, and I met the person who can handle that amount of directness and. Right.
But I mean, this is supposed to be a property podcast, but I find all this stuff fascinating, because you know, often you have a thought in your head, geez, imagine I was to become single again. How shit would that, like, I could not do that. Imagine going back to that again, having to go on online dating.
I think all the stories about the people and your personal stories just make the story, make your business, like it's all part of you.
Yeah.
Did you have a couple of rotters before you got to the right one?
I mean,
next time talking about property anymore.
I don't care about it's property. I'm more interested in this because it's a human. I'm interested in people.
You see, I'm like slightly uncomfortable there. I'm like crossing my legs, going, I hope my partner's not listening to this, and he definitely will be.
Does he help you with your business, with your content and that? Who does the camera for your YouTube videos? Do you get a?
Yeah, so that has always been a key point for me.
Subject,
I know you've just like flipped completely.
Sorry, back to the rotters.
But a key point for me for the business was to always have great content. So how it's filmed, how it looks, how it appears is crucial. So I've always, and I think just from having a sort of media camera background as well, that was really important. So Amy at Amy Humour, name is A Creative. I'm going to give her a shout out because she does all my videos, all my photographs. She only does property, so she's so focused in on that niche, and she knows exactly. She does all my YouTube stuff as well.
A lot of property
brilliant.
businesses and property owners that are putting themselves on social media and growing a brand and a business through it. So
YouTube's a hard slog, right? And
it's
it's hard, but I love your videos. They're brilliant. Nicely done as well. Just the way she shoots them and all that. So I think quality is good. We have an argument about this all the time because, like,
quality, he wants quantity.
I come from a photography background. Obviously, I know a good picture and I appreciate what a good is, but I'm more about quantity and consistency rather than quality. You're a bit different that way.
But you do have great consistency with your talking on camera, because your job, I think, requires that. Because you've got a very full on. You're dealing with all kinds of.
I don't have time. I don't have time to, get a polished video. Like, you look at your video. So look at your YouTube videos, very polished and nice and presentable and edited. And then, like, we've been doing reality refurbs lately on the podcast, and it's literally like I'm out myself with the camera.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a quick edit. Well, I say quick. It still takes a couple of hours to do and get it uploaded. But it's quite different. But there's something for everybody.
For me, I'm building a brand, so that's important to me that I keep, because I'm still I'm 4 years in, but it's still early days in that sense. I'm still building up my own portfolio. I'm still building up my brand, and that's all part of it. And it's
Sorry, back to your own personal investing strategies and stuff like that, because you've done a couple of flips, haven't you?
Yes. So, shall we talk about the brain melting?
We better talk about property rather than love and relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all very interesting, but yeah.
So, my partner and I, when we decided that we were going to buy a flat together, so it was never intended to be a flip. It was something we were buying together because we fell in love with the area, fell in love with the building. It was again a beautiful townhouse. I really love old buildings. I'm attracted to that's. I can't imagine a life without these beautiful old buildings. It's all part of our culture and our heritage. So when it comes to renovating, I'm attracted to these types because I know that I can add value, and I know that I can add another 100 years onto them. So we say this property was like doomed from the start. We've been told a pack of lies. It was on the top floor of this really old building, beautiful building, but the neighbours, oh my God, they were just determined not to spend a penny on this building. But we didn't know that they needed to until I got into the renovation. So once we got in, we were doing a full just rewire. We were changing the kitchen into the back. We were changing the kitchen into the living room to create an extra bathroom. And then I discovered that there was 60% of the roof trusses were rotten. And it turns out that up on the roof, there's a parapet wall. So it was on the gable end. The parapet wall was, instead of being straight like this, it's leaning like this. And the beam below it is fully rotten. The rafters are rotten. And this has obviously been going on for a long period of time. So, as you would...
You haven't factored that into your numbers then?
Absolutely not. I could just see... I think we were about maybe a year and a half into the relationship, and I'm thinking... This
is going to end it.
Oh, shit. I really like this guy, and I this could really go belly up. And it really tested us. It tested us big time because the money was... So the first thing you do is you contact the neighbours and you go, this is, And their response kind of really set the tone was... Well, it was fine until you got in there and ripped it all out.
Was it self-factored? No factor?
Still factored. So it turns out that the neighbours below, they were renting it out, but they used to live there. But he was actually a roofer and knew full well what was going on up on the roof, but chose to ignore it. Now, I challenged him on that, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I just called it out, and they just hated me from that moment on, and it was really difficult to get this roof done. It took nearly a year to get the roof done. with a lot of argy-bargy with the neighbours. And I just felt like they all ganged up. And I was like, no, this is like this because you have all neglected this building.
For years.
Yeah, you're self-factoring, but what you're not really factoring. All you're doing is just putting out fires.
Did you get the money at them in the end?
Yes. Yes, we did. Because I'm like a dog with a bone when it comes to these things. It was a lot of work. It took so long that by this point we had decided not to live there. The thought of bumping into these neighbours, they were just to drive me mad. They were, oh, we don't have money for this, we don't have money for that. And then they would roll up in their, not the Range Rover, what's the other one? The
Land Rover?
No, it is the Range Rover. The Range Rover Sport.
I don't know anything about cars. This is your car guy here.
Coming out with their money bags, and I'm like, but you've got money for that, and you've got money for your holidays.
Because it was like your problem, not their. You know, because you were up there and they were down here. They're not that motivated.
And they were, I come across this all the time with people in buildings. Is that I call them social climbers. They have like crawled their way up into the middle class, and then once they get there they go, this is really bloody expensive, we need to maintain this lifestyle of the cars, the nice house, the holidays, and all of that on social media.
What was their share of the roof repair? What was
10 grand each.
Okay.
But that was done cheaply, and we didn't use the sandstone because we had to rebuild the chimney breasts. It was a huge job.
How long did all that renovation go? That was the brain melting renovation, was it? Which is how I came across our content. Because what it was great, I mean, for the listeners, like if you go back actually on your Instagram, you could probably see it. It was like a series, wasn't it?
So it's on my Kelvingrove property sourcing, because I've also now set up Jemima Renovates, which is like just the story of all the renovation side of things. And it's a bit more colourful, but it is, I've got the full thing on KPS.
It was quite funny because you brought in a bit of humour to it as well.
You have to, because you pull your bloody hair out.
And that's what the engaging part was. To be honest with you, you're like, oh my god, this poor woman, and it was like it had me hooked.
So I had the theme tune for Magnum PI on in the background. So I'm like, this week in the brain melting renovation, you are not going to believe this, and I just made it into a bit of fun, because deep down I was dying inside because it was costing way much. I mean, we spent nearly £60,000 on a renovation that I had budgeted 40.
It's quite a bill. So not like, I mean, how did you come out of that in the end? So you sold it, and did you make a profit?
So when we put it on the market, so by this point we decided that we weren't going to live in it, and so we'd finished it, and I said, why don't we rent it out for a period of time and try and claw some of our money back before we then sell it. So we did, got a good rental for it, and then we revalued it, took some of that money out, and then that allowed us to buy the house that we're down on the coast. So once we put it on the market, it was just a really bad time. There just wasn't a lot of bites, and the couple that bought it ended up pulling out, and they were buying it for at home report value, which left us with, we weren't really going to make anything on it. But then, so they pulled out, and then another couple came along, and they were just the perfect couple, because this flat was really colourful. I put a lot of design into it. It really stood out. There was nothing like it on the market, and they just put in this whopping great offer, and I kept going back to the agent and going, are you sure you've not got the numbers round the wrong way? Like that, and he's like, no, Jay, this is what they've offered. Take it and run. And
have you got the numbers written down for this one? Because I saw you looking at your notepad.
Yes. So we bought it for 180, and then we sold it for 276.
Okay, and you spent 60 grand on the refurb.
Yes.
And you obviously rented it out for a period of time as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did all right out of it. We did okay. And
not an easy one, but a learning experience.
Not an easy one.
What did you learn from that then? What did you take away from it?
So my diplomacy probably wasn't as good as what I thought it was.
Was there swearing at the neighbours and
No.
shouting and swearing, or you keep it calm? But
No,
you were
the woman below didn't. But they ended up selling as well. So they just wanted out. They just thought, oh God, this woman's going to unearth more problems. We're out of here. And a lovely couple kind of moved in below. But yeah, the money side was. I really thought we were going to come out of it just wiping our face, but we did really well out of it. I was so happy. But sorry, going back to the learnings, that it solidified my theory about colour, about putting colour into properties.
You love your colours.
People pay a premium for something they love.
Yes, if you can get into a niche, people pay money for a niche. But you've got to find them. You've got to get them.
You're
You've
quite
got to get them there.
colours as well. You've been going out trying things new as well, haven't you?
A bit more creative.
In your
in my old
latest
age.
houses, you're trying a few wee different things. You know, I mean, you've done pink bathrooms now
I've
in
done
the
pink
past.
bathrooms, but that's I think when you do flips, if you appeal to the end user, you know, I always say this, like if you're going for a family home, like the only person I'm selling the house to is the 43-year-old woman who's going to decide that that's going to be the family home for them. So do it to her taste, her style. Don't try and
That's
do it to
exactly right.
all
The
a
woman
man
makes
cares about.
all the decisions in the home.
She makes decision.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. All the man really cares about is to have a garage and where about is it. Like really, that's all they really care about.
And then what size is the TV, basically.
That's it. Women's going to come in, fall in love with the decor, the design, the construction, the materials, the flooring, the way they've positioned the island, the colours, the tiles, whatever you put in. That's what they're going to fall in love with, and force the family to pay more than the asking price for it. Usually a lot more.
And that is my strategy when I'm doing flips, is that I always focus on. I won't go too pink, but there will be.
You like a green, don't you? That green you're top.
I did one with a traditional property where I convert, like I took the old kitchen, I did this massive Aga cooker, and I made this open plan kitchen diner space, and I could have got a 5th bedroom out of it. And I was like, nah, I'm making that the downstairs bathroom, because you're having to try and get in a downstairs WC somewhere. I thought, I'll make this. I mean, it was the size of this podcast studio, this bathroom. And it was this freestanding bath, and it was this, you know, the toilet chains where the flushers with the toilet chains and his
the
and
old
her marble
crappers.
sinks and all that. Like I went all out with this panelled wall and stuff, and all I thought of was the same social class that you're talking about was if the stay-at-home middle-aged mum wants to bring her friends round for coffee, what toilet they're using.
Yeah.
This one. They're going to love showing this off.
Yeah.
She's going to get so excited about showing that bathroom off. They'll pay a premium for this property.
So
and it worked.
I have put my own house now. I have put this Moroccan style bathroom in, and people spend ages in the bathroom. They go in and they go, "Oh my God! Like, is this a bathroom? Like, what do you do?" Because I've put in like a seating area, like you can sit in the shower. It's very, and so the bathroom is like such a big, bathrooms and kitchens definitely, but. So
seating area in the shower is actually quite good. I always walk in and find my wife sitting on the floor of the shower. So
it's great.
A seating area is good. Yeah, because she loves just sitting there. A shower, she stays in there for like half an hour. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might as well make yourself comfortable.
And then when you're like, have you ever tried shaving your legs without something to lean on? It's actually really irritating. So, because everyone was like, "I know why you've got a bench in there," and I'm like. It's actually because...
That was the first thought that came in my head.
This is not an X-rated podcast here. Let's clean this up.
No. But so let's bring this. So we'll talk about my house, right? Because this was another huge renovation. Because I just can't help myself. I love renovating, and I'm addicted to a before and after. That's really, I get so like, oh, I can't wait to see it. But the in-between is a slog, and dealing with the contractors and everything is difficult. But I think I'm getting pretty good at it. But the house, we decided to move in without a bathroom because we were building an extension on to the side of the house to have this. It's a really tiny little Victorian cottage. So we had enough money aside to do this this Moroccan Mirage bathroom, as I called it, and we were just showering across the road in the hydro. So there's a spa. That's one of the reasons why we thought we'll just move in, because it's summer. Let's not miss the summer. So we moved in. And then about a few months later, I then got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Jeez.
Wow.
So it was, I couldn't even be able to tell you, it was obviously a huge shock, but also not a shock because I've got a lot of family history of cancer in the family. My mother passed away when I was a child. My sisters with breast cancer.
Acutely aware of, like checking all the time.
Very. So I was checking. So I found a lump and got it checked out, but I was still like, oh my goodness.
Still didn't expect it though.
So I didn't expect it. And so meanwhile, like I've got other renovations going on at the same time as my own renovation
with no bathroom.
For clients with no bathroom. So I had my surgery just before Christmas to get the lump out, and I was getting the lump out, I was going in for reconstructive surgery as well on both sides, so I wasn't left like hanging like one side, and came out. Christmas was a bit of a blur. I don't really remember a lot of it, but as we got into January, I still didn't have a bathroom. So the lead up for me going into hospital for the surgery, I had like multiple tradesmen, and I was really putting pressure on them. I was like, guys, we need to get this finished because I need a shower to come out. I can't go to the hydro because I need help. I need help showering. I can't do this. And I had such a dealings with the builder. It was just so difficult.
How did you come to terms with that diagnosis? Like, did you like stop with, obviously you were driven, growing the business and all your passions growing up, caught up in that, and then you get that kind of punch in the face with the diagnosis. How does that affect you in terms of? So
at the time, I don't think it really sunk in because I was pulling my hair out trying to get this bathroom finished, and it was a big deal. You know, it wasn't just like your run of the mill. It was a full extension. There was a lot going on. So I never really had time to think about it. I don't think. I think I just and also like telling my children. I kept like such a level head that, you know, we've caught it early, it's going to be fine. You know, I was like really like
keeping the positive.
Yeah, and so that they would be okay.
Using logic, not emotion with it.
Yeah. So the bathroom didn't get finished in time. When I came out of hospital, the tilers were doing the best that they could. I found a great duo, and they got stuck in, and so I had like these tilers in the house whilst I'm like. Wow. Doped up on.
This is because this is an operation, right? So what do they call it again? The operation. There's a name for it, right?
Yeah. So it was a lumpectomy.
Right. Okay.
And then I had reconstructive surgery as well.
And did you have to get any? There's no chemo or radio.
So I was meant to go for radiotherapy.
Radiotherapy. It was.
And then I declined it.
Right. Okay.
But there is reasons for that. But the reason being that it was a 0.5% reduction. So I decided to take
And have
my
you
chances.
been given the all clear now?
Yes.
Brilliant. Right.
So I had to go and shower in my neighbour's house. My neighbour was like, "In you come." So I was showering across the road while still trying to get this done. And I now know, after going through all of that, because not only I mean, it was kind of good timing that it was over Christmas and New Year because it gave me some time off. But then I had like 2 really big renovations where I was collecting the keys for at the start of January. I was like, oh my God. And I hadn't told the clients. And I still haven't told the clients, so they're probably watching this now. I didn't want to put any fear into them because we're talking about their like savings, you know. And I knew that I could do it. So I prolonged it a bit. I didn't really start the renos until middle of January, but I was still very sore, still on like painkillers, which really mess you up. And I just took it at the pace that I could, and I managed to finish both of them. One of them, they were both massive renovations as well. They were like rotten walls and roof needed fixed, and the other one was not as big, but I had problems with the trades that prolonged it, and the whole time I'm just like,
yeah, your project managing, and did those clients ever become aware of what you were going through at the time?
No. And I will tell them. I will tell them now that everything's the properties are done.
Clear, yeah.
Because when people hear the C word, they panic.
Yeah.
And people, the C word is like, oh, are you going to die?
Yeah, I had skin cancer in 2010, and it was kind of, people were just, that's what they automatically jumped to. Yeah. So, but future's bright. On the positive.
Yeah, and I'm kind of on a mission now to build up my own portfolio, because all I've been doing is focusing on the clients and building up cash so that I could then and build a brand so that I can then start buying my own.
You still take on new sourcing clients, or you just try and work? Yeah,
yes,
you still do.
No, absolutely.
Open to business on that front.
Yeah, so some of my clients. There was one client in particular who has been amazing, and he actually did come from the letting agency, because I started off with one Rosa, but then he joined as well, and his portfolio is probably worth about 2 million now,
right?
And I've just been adding and adding.
I feel like you have transitioned a little bit in the last few months, so just with the content I've been watching, is that fair to say, or what are you aiming at? Like, how do you see yourself progressing now?
Yeah, because I'd like to be focusing more on properties. So how much time do we have left? Because
we need to wrap up in the next 5 minutes, really.
Okay, so I'll explain like what I'm doing now, what my focus is now. So I'm still dealing with my buy-to-let clients, because they are the reason that I'm here. But I'm looking at how I've got a vested interest in my main street where I live, and I'm looking at how can I improve the town? How can I improve our main street, or the main street where I live? So because there's a lot of empty properties, there's a lot of empty shops, and that's for every town. So I'm trying to create almost a blueprint of how to bring more people into the town, keep it going. So I bought 2 commercial units that I'm renovating into a holiday let. Now it's not rocket science, and it's not. But the returns are really good. But I'm turning 2 empty that have been empty for years, and I'm squishing them together. Well, they'll become one big apartment. So the more people that are coming into the town, the more the other businesses will benefit from it as well. So I had mentioned this to a networking event that I was at. Sorry, it wasn't yours. Honestly, Wednesdays are such a bad day for me. But
forgive you.
I mentioned it to someone who actually is dealing with public money, and old buildings. They are sat there. It's the money to renovate an old building doesn't really equate to what the value is. You're spending so much more, so you have to find clever ways to hold on to that building and make money from it. So We Make Kilmarnock had approached me about a fund that they have, and would I be interested in helping them renovate some buildings and coming up with a creative strategy moving forward. So this is in its infancy.
So is that kind of Kilmarnock would be East Ayrshire Council, would it?
It's East Ayrshire, yes.
Is that kind of what's it called? We Make Kilmarnock. We Make Kilmarnock. Is that kind of like council kind of wing?
Yes.
Kind of arm of something that they're trying to do to
regenerate. So they have been given this, it's like a £2 million fund,
right?
That they'll get for the next few years. How many years? I think it's like 10 years. It's part of what initially was the Levelling Up Fund. Amazing. So Kilmarnock is a beautiful town, but the town centre is just declining rapidly. Like every day there's
a lot of the town.
And they had a huge fire in a beautiful old building, I think a couple of weeks ago, but they're in a really exciting time, because I think now the planning department and the councillors are going, right, I think we need to bring in some more private developers. And that's how I see myself, as someone that can look at a building and go, I know what we can do.
Let's face it, a contractor gets the call from one of the councils, they're just adding an extra couple of zeros on it and going,
yes,
and the person in the office
and we
doesn't
can
give
do
a
it
shit
so
about.
much cheaper
Yeah.
and
So that's where
probably
you bring
better.
your value.
Yeah.
So what else have they kind of like appointed you with, or what's your role then?
Nothing yet. So
No,
we're just in the
talks.
infancy. So I'm 2 meetings in with them.
Right.
It's really exciting, though.
They're dead
That's
excited, but now I need to meet the planners and the councillors, and then they have to make a decision.
Yeah, right.
And I
So
think the hardest
where
part,
do you see this going then, in terms of what is your vision for this whole thing? So is this bringing back empty units back into use?
yes. So different for different things, that how to bring people back into your main streets. So whether it be an apart hotel, which is something that I've pitched to them, whether it be buildings that have really small niche shops inside them, so to keep it like a collective, whether it be places to eat and drink, you have to reinvent almost the main street.
So this is great and I love it, right? But from speaking to other guests who do essays, short-term lets and all the rest of it, the issue that they keep facing time and time again
It's the planning departments.
planning councillors stuck in their ways, and it's a political thing as well, because housing is a very political topic, because there's not enough housing, there's not enough social housing. So they have the population of young people. You'll understand this growing up in Orkney and Shetland. To try and get, I would imagine, to try and get a rental property up there's just none. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of them have been put into holiday homes, serviced accommodation.
Yeah, that's a fairly new thing. It's not. Yeah.
So then there's so I think what you say about the apart hotels, that's good, because then it's like you're converting a commercial building which was never going to be somebody's home in the first place, and that apart hotel
Even
thing,
the commercial shops as well.
I can see how they would give you support for that.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is where people get into serviced accommodation, they're taking homes and stuff like that.
I suppose that's the point, is that the high streets aren't generally residential areas. They're a lot of old shops that are just sitting vacant.
Yeah.
There must be so many buildings.
West Kilbride, where I live, is an appointed craft town. So it has craft town status.
Aye.
So people actually come there to go, let's look at the workshops, let's look at this, look at that.
Oh.
So
Last time I've not been there for a while, but last time I was in West Kilbride, it actually looked alright going down the main street.
Well, I've been approaching numerous commercial owners, like tapping on doors and finding out who owns what, and just saying, can I buy this? And I'm almost getting a name for myself, because people are saying, what do you want to do with it? And I'm like, well, something that's of use to the community.
So is that going to be your strategy for your own portfolio then?
Yes.
And are you going to try, obviously you can only do so much with your own money, so is the idea to attract private investment then?
Yeah, so I've used a lot of private investment in flips, and for most of the projects I've always used private investment. I've never actually used a lender yet.
Nice. You have a lot of rich friends and family.
But most of them are clients, are people that are like
Hong Kong and that?
Yeah. Well, the Hong Kongs have disappeared.
Have they?
All my clients now, they're Irish
what
or
happened to
UK. Just, I think politically there's a lot going on there, so that's why.
God, we're running over time here, and I feel like we could do another hour.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add?
Well, just that there's no stopping you. Like, see if you have an idea for something, just to go at it hell for leather, and don't listen to the naysayers, because I find there's so many naysayers in what you
the
do.
negative doubt in yourself.
Well, I think that getting into the personal backstory was really a lot of value, and I really appreciate you being so transparent with that, because you didn't have to come here and share all that today. But I think there's huge lessons to be learned, and just seeing somebody's how they've managed to weather themselves through that will give people, there will be people listening to this that are having a shit time at the moment. And just to give them that lift, well, she did it, so I can as well. So
yeah, and you know what? There's 1 in 2 people will have a cancer story. So if I can get through all this and renovate properties at the same time, then now I know that I can do anything. I feel like get busy living or get busy dying, and it's almost propelled me now into a fast track of this is where I'm going, this is what I want to do, and I need it and want it to have a social impact, because when you live in the same place that you're working, there's no escaping. You've got to do the right thing. So
That's good.
I hope you can win over these councillors. And
I hope so too.
Get Ayrshire looking good.
I think.
I mean, Ayrshire's got a lot going for it.
It absolutely does. The yields are brilliant as well.
Aye. So good luck to
Some
you.
beautiful buildings.
How can people reach out to you? Is it through Instagram mainly?
Yeah, so the sourcing business is Kelvingrove Property Sourcing. That I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and then I have my Jemima Renovates, which is the sort of all the property stuff. And I have written to Scottish Homes of the Year, and they have actually said that they would consider my house for next year. So I better drop that in as well.
Might have seen you on the telly then.
Oh, here's hoping, because I put so much effort into the house. And then there's a YouTube channel. There's Jemima Renovates YouTube, which you see kind of all the developments and things that I'm working on just now, and the current commercial project that will be on there as
Fantastic.
well.
We'll put links in the show notes, and thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Thank you.